Hey, hello everyone. Let's talk about async await in JavaScript. Wait, before understanding async await, we need to have a complete understanding of callback, callback hell, and promises. So please do watch my previous videos on callback and promises. I will give the video links in description. Now let's come back to async await. Async await are two keywords in JavaScript. Basically, when a function is combined with the async keyword, then that function it will make the function to return a promise. Okay, and inside that async function, we will write the another keyword called await keyword, which will wait for the promise in order to consume it. Basically, it wait for a resolved promise in order to use it, right? So this await keyword instructs JS code to wait for the resolve promise. I mean, it will wait until that async function returns a response. Await can be used only inside async function because this await keyword as it wait for the resolved promise, right? And async function is returning a promise. So how we will do is we will write a async function, and inside that we will use await keyword to wait for the async function to another async function to return a promise. Okay, so this await keyword can only be used inside the async function. Okay, this await is similar to dot and in promise because this async function is going to return a promise, right? And when it is returning a promise, how we are going to consume usually in promises is we will use dot then and dot catch methods to um, consume the promises, right? In the similar way, in async await we will use await keyword to do that, right? And in promises we will use dot catch methods, right? Here we don't need to use that. Instead of that, the errors can be captured using try catch. Okay, so the main advantage or usage of async await itself is to it is used to write a asynchronous code in a synchronous manner, so it will make our understanding better of the code, how it works, and maintainability also is easy. Okay, the thing is, with the help of async await we can avoid callback hell and also the promise chaining, right? Now I'm gonna explain one by one. So what I'm gonna do in this video is first I'm gonna create a async function and I will show you how it returns a promise, right? Then instead of using dot then I'm gonna use await keyword and to show you how it gonna wait for the resolve promise and how it is getting captured, right? And finally, in order to write the asynchronous code, without using callback and promise chaining, I'm gonna create two functions which is returning promises, and then without using promise chaining, I'm using async await to write that in a synchronous manner. Okay, now let's start one by one. First, I'm gonna create the async function. Okay, so let me start the function. Yeah, the function name is start bike. Okay, so basically, I have to click on the self start button, which will start the bike, right? This is basically a promise, right? When I click on the self start button, the bike has to start, right? So this is a promise. I want this function to return a promise, so I'm gonna make this as a async function. Okay, I'm combining that function with the async keyword. Now this is going to return me bike started. Okay, this is similar to a resolve promise. So promise dot resolve bike started. This is similar. Okay, now I have to consume this promise, right? I have to how I can consume the promise. I can use dot then method, right? So start bike is my function, and I'm gonna use the then method. This is gonna take the callback, right? So I'm gonna use the arrow function here, and this is the value it will take. And console.log, I'm gonna pass that value here. Okay. Now I consume the promise. Now let me call the function in order to show you how it works. Fine. Now what we did is we just created a async function which is returning the promise. In order to consume the promise, I did use a dot then method. Right. Now this method is giving me a resolved promise, that is bike started. and taking that I'm printing it in the output. Now I'm calling that function. So this function will call this async function, which will in turn return the promise, and this promise is consumed here, which is printing the output bike started. Right, if I run it, I will get the output bike started. So this is how we can see like how we can write a async function which will make that function return a promise. Okay, I am going to consume the promise without using dot then. Let's see how. Okay, I'm just commenting this dot then because I'm not going to use dot then now. I'm going to use the await keyword. Okay, in order to show that, I'm going to create one more async function called run bike. Okay, so run bike, what will happen is after starting the bike has to run, right? Yeah, run the bike or accelerate the bike. Okay, so before that, before running the bike, I have to start the bike, right? So I'm going to call the function start bike. The thing is, the start bike, it will return a promise, right? So I'm going to use dot then. Instead, I'm going to use the await keyword in order to wait for this result promise start bike. Okay, I want to show the result, this bike started in the output, so I'm going to share it. I mean, I'm going to store that result promise in the one variable. Okay, let bike start, that's my variable name, equal to, it's waiting for that this result promise. Okay, I'm gonna print it console.log bike start, and I'm going to call the run bike function. Okay, this is async function, and inside that it is waiting for the promise from another function start bike. Okay, which will eventually give me the output of bike started, and then once the bike is started, I'm gonna run the bike. Okay, I write it in a synchronous manner. Okay, bike started, run the bike. So we just now saw these two things. We created a async keyword with the function, and that function, it made that this async keyword, it made that function to return a promise, and we used await keyword to get that result promise. Right? That's what we demonstrated till now. Hope you understand. Now let me go to my final point. That is, I want to use this async keyword, async await keyword in order to avoid callback hell and promise chaining. So I'm gonna create two promises right now. Let me comment this. Okay, so I'm gonna create a function that's gonna open the word. Okay, and this is gonna return a promise, new promise. So promise takes a callback function. So I want the promise to be resolved, right? So opening word is a sync operation, right? Because after clicking that open word, it will take some time to open the word application. So it will take some time. So what will happen is first opening the word application. Okay, and then it will take some time, right? So I'm gonna use the set timeout method. Not set interval, it should be set timeout. And set timeout takes a callback function as an argument, right? I'm gonna use the arrow function here. And what will happen is this word will open, but when it will open after 2 seconds. Okay, and I want the promise also to be resolved at this point. Okay, what I did is I just created a function which will return a promise. Okay, I'm gonna use the same for one more function also. This time I'm gonna open Excel, okay, instead of Word. So I'm opening the Excel application, same code, I'm just replacing it with Excel. So what will happen is after some time, after 2 seconds, Excel will be opened. Let's say 2.5 seconds. Let's say Excel is slow. Okay. Now, now in order to use these two promises, I have to method chain it, right? I mean, I have to promise chain it. Then only I can use these one by one. Like, let's say if I got three applications, Word, open Word first, then open Excel first, then open PowerPoint. that case, I have to promise chain it, right? But with the help of async await, we can write this in a synchronous manner without using promise chaining or callback hell. Okay, I'll demonstrate you that. Gonna create one more function in order to open all the applications. Function open apps. Okay, so here what I'm gonna do is, anyway I have to call it sometime, right? And let me call that function itself. Open apps. Okay, so this is gonna open the word first, right? Open word first. Now it's as it is returning a promise, I'm gonna use the await keyword. Okay, so I can use await keyword only inside a async function. Okay, it's not a arrow function, it's async function. Okay, so I want to print the resolve one in the output. So in resolve, what will happen? Finally, what is done, and with this one, Excel is done. It I want to print this resolve output. I mean, this resolved promise to show it in my output. So I'm gonna store it in some variable, let word open, and I'm gonna print it. Okay, I'm gonna do the same for how many applications I have, right? Let's say I have Excel now. Not Excel, sorry, Excel open, and the function name is Excel. Okay, so I'm gonna use, without using promise chaining, I'm using async await to open the applications one by one in a synchronous manner. Okay, finally what will happen is all apps are open. Fine, right? Now let me run it and show you how it works. First it is opening the word application, then word opened, word is done, it resolve. It is opening the word application, word is opened. Okay, this is because of set timeout, and after that the promise is resolved. Await is await keyword, it will wait till the promise gets resolved, right? So it waited till the promise get resolved, so that's why we got this word done. So once the word is completely opened, then only the next function will be called, right? That's the use of await here. It will wait until the function returns the promise, resolved promise. Okay, so next one is it's opening the Excel application. Excel is open after the set timeout, and then it is waiting for the promise. Once the promise returns the resolved response, Excel is done here. Finally, all apps are open. You can see that even though we used to set timeout here, it did not went in a synchronous approach. Right? It happened one by one. First word is open, then Excel is open, and then all applications are open. It executed in a synchronous manner, right? So this is how we can use async await in order to handle asynchronous operations in a synchronous manner. Thanks for watching.